Hey everybody, it's your old pal Steve Moore here, owner of Run More, the spectacular brick and mortar running shop located in Westminster, Maryland. Today we'll be talking about the new Saucony Endorphin Speed 4. This guy came out in May of 2024 and it's $170. We're gonna classify this as that sort of performance trainer, super performance trainer, however you wanna look at it. This is a shoe with a performance midsole. This is like a PIBA blend and it has a nylon plate in it. As far as some of the nitty gritty specs, this is an 8mm drop shoe with a high point of 36 millimeters. On the men, it's 9.6 ounces and on the women's, it's 7.8 ounces. I will say that this shoe aesthetically looks like it was gonna be a very narrow shoe, but it fit quite nice and wide underfoot. This is like a nice everyday trainer shoe that has a more performance-y vibe to it. So if you were looking to sort of compare this to a couple of shoes out there, like, you know, the Hoka Mach X, or maybe you can say like a Brooks Hyperion Max, something that you can use to do tempo runs, some fast-paced stuff, maybe racing, but also designed to be an everyday trainer if you need it for that one shoe to rule them all. This could just be your everyday junk mileage shoe and then go do some speedy 200s on the track if you wanted to. Just to kind of give a little bit of behind the scenes here, you don't see Saucony on my wall here or here. It's a brand we just don't work with. Actually, when I opened 10 years ago, it was a brand that was very not nice to me and the shop, so we do not work with them. But I wanted to start introducing some new shoes just because it will help me sort of connect the dots for you guys and myself on how some of the wonderful shoes I carry compared to some of the other stuff out in the marketplace. So anyway, we're gonna be talking about the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4 today. I actually have run in a variation of this years ago. I had run in the 2, I actually ran a lot in the 2. I picked this up at a trade show, and I very much like this shoe. So truth be told, I was very excited to get this underfoot. I went to the track this morning and did a longer run on the track and actually switched shoes during it. So it was really fun to go from one of the shoes that were sort of this shoe is competing against and then pop this guy on and then do some miles in this to really get a good variation and change to see how it compares against its competition out there. I would say one of the things I liked about this immediately is it was the way that it fit my foot width-wise. I always had good luck with Saucony on the width, and it always kind of, I have bunions, I have all kinds of foot issues, but really nice and breathable when I put it on. It was warm out there today, and it was nice and light and flowy, and I appreciated that immediately. It has a really nice step-in feel to it, almost to the point where I almost felt almost loosey-goosey in it, which is rare for me because I'm usually pushed up against it, and not in a bad way, but I almost felt like I had to really nicely tie this to get it secured around it, which to me is a good problem to have. So I thought that was nice. And it is so breathable. At 9.6 ounces and a nice breathable upper to it, my foot was nice, happy, and cool the entire time in my run. So one of those you can put on and go and not really worry about it. Fits your foot well, it has a nice out-of-box feel to it. I will say though, compared to where I was in version 2, I actually found this shoe to be much poppier and had much more roll to it. You know, even when you're looking on the removable insole that they have here, they talk about their speed roll technology. And I wasn't quite as apparent in this shoe as it was to me in version 2. Now, some of that also can be is when I ran in this shoe a couple years ago, this whole new technology was so new, so much of the shoes had not quite caught up to that it was just a breath of fresh air. And now having run in so many shoes that are sort of classified like this, I just necessarily wasn't wowed by the performance factor by this. And you know, by having a plate into it, it didn't have nearly as much bounce as I wanted to. And on my run today, as I said, I ran a couple miles in a competitor shoe to this and then popped this on. And technically, according to the specs, this shoe had a little more cushion to it, but I didn't feel it. I actually felt the opposite. I felt much more lower to the ground in this than I had expected. Now, I did do a couple different paces in this. And one of those things is the faster I ran, the more I kind of liked this shoe. But it didn't necessarily out of the box have a whole lot of get up and go to it. To me, it was much more of a nice, breathable cushion, everyday trainer vibe than more of a performance shoe. But that being said, the way that it fit, it is a shoe that I can go do short stuff in, and having this much cushion, even though I might not have felt it, knowing that the specs give this a higher cushion and knowing that it does have a plate in there to give just a little bit more inherent stability to it, that I could go run 16, 18, 20 miles on the road in it and still feel like my foot is protected. So it does have that option to do a lot of stuff into it. And because it is a little more streamlined, like I'm always weird about some of the stuff that we carry here that's too bulky. If I wanted to do 200s and 400s and stuff like that on the track. Like, I want something that's a little more streamlined, and this shoe definitely is, but in a way that still let my foot breathe and still let my bunions be out there and be as awful as they usually are without putting excess pressure onto it. So there were some things that I very much liked in this shoe and some things that I thought could be missing from it. But again, I haven't run tons of Saucony over the years, and I was happy that I had run in a variation of this a couple years ago, because at least I had some real life experience in one of its predecessors. But anyway, it's out now. It's $170. It's the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4. If you've run in this shoe or any of the other iterations of this and you have any feedback, leave it down in the comments below. I really could use a refresher on this brand, so help me out, get caught up on some of the new stuff from Saucony. And if you want to support our shop, head on over to our website, and if you enter Run More at your checkout, you'll save 10% on any new model that we carry in the shop. And if you're in the Westminster, Maryland area, stop on by and say hello. And if you found this helpful, do me a solid and like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much. Happy running, and we'll see you around town.